Hey everyone, welcome to UB Chef, this week's cook along video. I'm about to get cooking with 10 dishes coming up, so follow. You don't have to watch them all, watch your individual dishes or watch the whole thing if you want some inspiration. So 10 dishes on the way, let's get cooking. Weekly bake is starting off this week's menu. What you want to do, this is your seaweed focaccia in here, onto your tray. That's going straight into the oven. About 8 to 10 minutes, no longer in there. And then the garnishes, so often you have oil to dip into the focaccia. What we've done for you this week, we've done a yuzu butter, so lovely citrusy butter, and we're going to roll it just in our little seaweed dust here. So you see I've got my seaweed dust in there, lovely. What I suggest you do, get a tray, just get some of that seaweed dust on the tray, get your butter, and then just roll it in that dust. You don't want it kind of literally like caked in it, but just so it nicely coats the outside. Pick it up, get a little bit more on the top there, like so. Lovely. Then I'm going to get my board. I'm going to put my seaweed butter, yuzu butter, just rolling that seaweed, a little bit of salt just on the top. And now I'm going to leave that there just for the rest of the time that our focaccia is heating up. That's going to soften up nicely. Then we're going to cut our focaccia, all ready to dip into the butter. So, out comes my focaccia. Be careful of the hot trays as always. And let's unwrap it. Just be careful of any steam that's going to come out of there. Look at that lovely pillow of focaccia. All the seaweed going through nicely. Get a little bit of rapeseed oil on the top. Tiny bit of salt. We've already put salt and oil on it, so this is just a little extra for you. And then all I'm going to do, cut it into some nice chunks, and that is now all ready just to line up on my board like so. Look at that, what a way to start. Lovely bit of yuzu butter to spread on your focaccia. First starter for you, we've got a lovely crab bisque, so rich crab bisque we've made from all the crushed down crab bones, touch of brandy in there, touch of tomato. That's just going to go onto the heat, little whisk there. I'm just going to heat out nice and slowly. Crab, little toasty, so here we've got char grilled bread, and in the centre we've got the brown crab bechamel, and that's got a lovely bit of Comté cheese in, so that's going in the oven about 8 minutes. Just get that in. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you putting this together. Here you see I've got my little salad of crab, charred sweet corn, touch of herbs going through there. Make sure that's out now room temperature so it's not ice cold going into your soup. And then we've got a little bit of shellfish oil here which is just going to decorate the top. So back in about 7 minutes to finish off. So there's my brown crab toasty already there. Then we've got our bowl ready to go. And let's get our piece. So that's just come up to the simmer. Got a whisk in there just to make sure it's all nicely mixed together. So what we'll do, a little bit of the garnish first of all, straight into our bowl. Final little whisk just to make sure that's nicely emulsified. And then let's get our bisque in there. So that's lovely and rich, really full flavour of crab happening in there. So that's all good. Then carefully get the rest of our garnishing. This just gives you opportunity to space it out nicely. Make sure you get all of that lovely picked white crab meat in there as well, like so. Then we'll take a little bit of our shellfish oil. I've just cut the edge off of there. I'm just gonna, nice little droplets. You see that lovely orangey golden colour on the top, like so. And then take out your little crab toasty onto your board, and then I'm just going to sit that just on the edge, almost like the French onion, so you can dip your croûte nicely in. Now you've got super simple crab bisque to start with, really seasonal sweet corn and that lovely crab toasty. The next starter for you is this lovely carpaccio of aged grass-fed beef. So that's all sliced in there, all ready to go. We've got some beef dripping croutons here, beef dripping, absolutely lovely. They're going in the oven now, 1 to 2 minutes. Just to warm up, give them that extra bit of crispiness. And then the garnishes, we've got house dressing just here, which is going to dress our lovely salad leaves, and we've got horseradish creme fraiche just on the side as well. So what you want to do, see how that is the presentation side, because you can see all the nice slices are facing up and they're all overlapped each other. Turn it the other way, and then carefully just pull off that first piece of paper, and then all you need to do is invert it onto your plate. You can adjust it slightly if you need to, and then pull off the paper. Just going to lift that up, make sure I give it a little clean on the plate before we go with all the garnishes, then we're ready to go. So, we've got some lovely salad leaves here. Just take some of those into your bowl, and he's just going to get a little bit of that lovely dressing just on the top. So just pick a few of those down, give you plenty as always, so you can save it for a nice lunch if you prefer not to use a whole lot. So that's all fine. Touch of seasoning, in we go, and then let's get a little bit of that house dressing, not too much, save the rest, and then so I'll just get in there with a spoon and your hands and just dress that leaf all nicely around, so you can see the whole leaf is coated in the dressing. Then what we want to do, let's just start getting some of those nice pieces of leaf across our carpaccio. Place them so that you don't cover up all of the beef. You want to be able to see that. And of course some of those different colours, play with those as they go around. So almost there on that, and then we're going to go and get our lovely little croutons out the oven. So out they come. So just 1 to 2 minutes. That's all that's needed in there. They're just sizzling away. Then let's cut our piping bag with the creme fraiche inside. Just a little bit of a nozzle. And then let's pipe some nice little mounds of creme fraiche. Of course, horseradish, horseradish and beef. Stunning flavours. There we go. Then the croutons. I'm just gonna make sure they're all nicely in between. Remember, once you start getting the croutons on, you need to get to the table fairly quickly, because of course they are warm. So that's enough for me there. Finally, let's get a little bit more dressing. Just tiny little spots of that in between, that vinegariness really cutting through the beef, lovely. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of rapeseed, as I love that colour on the top. There you go. That's my beef carpaccio, lovely fresh starter. Onto our vegetarian starter now, and look at this lovely linguine there. Absolutely vibrant green colour. So this is a spinach linguine. It's got some nutmeg in there. It's got a bit of butter as well. What I'm going to do is you want 2 tablespoons of water per portion of pasta. So just cold water in a dish like that on the heat. You just want it on a medium heat, and then give it a little shake every so often. But you want it, once it comes up to the simmer, about 1 to 2 minutes, just tossing it over in the pan. I've got a little pasta fork just here, which is just going to help me keep that nice and moving. Then garnishes, a little garlic cream. There we go, so that's garlic infused cream. That's going on to warm up. And then we've got all the other garnishes, so this is like basically it's going to be carbonara on the plate without the bacon. You've got crispy shallots just here, you've got smoked cheddar cheese, and it's lovely, look at that, cured egg yolk. So cured egg yolk, which we're going to just use a little microplane just to grate over the top. You can use a normal grater if you don't have a microplane. So I'll be back in about 1 to 2 minutes once this pasta is fully cooked and the cream is warmed up. So my pasta, I'm just going to turn that heat off now. There we go. That is all hot, look at that. Lovely and loose, it's not sticking together. Hot plate. And then let's get our garlic cream off on the stove, which is just heated up. So all your garnishes on the side. Then you can turn the pasta on a fork if you prefer. What I quite like to do on this one though, so it's all nicely spread out, is just get a good amount first of all on the fork, like so. and I'm going to get it straight onto my plate. And I'm going to just spread it out because I want it all the garnish to be spread nicely on the top. So let's just get a little bit more there. So you can use tongs, as I said, a little pair of tweezers, which we use quite regularly, completely up to you, but just get that all nicely spread out. Quick rinse. Then I'm going to get a little bit of my smoked cheddar cheese just on the top, and that is all going to start melting into the linguine like so. Then let's get some of our garlic cream, and you just want to kind of spoon that into the pasta, make sure it's all getting covered, but you don't want to completely flood the plate. So a little bit around the outside. The smell of this already is absolutely beautiful. That's my garlic cream. Then let's get some of those crispy shallots just for that little texture on the top. They're nice and smoky, like so. And then let's get our egg yolk on the go. So little grater, as I said, and you see that just grate all the way around. And really go for it. That you really want to kind of get as much on there as you possibly can. Like so. Tiny bit of rapeseed just to give it a lovely little shine, and that is it. Spinach carbonara for your vegetarian starter. I've got a lovely chunky fillet of cod for the main course now. So look at that in there. We gently salt the cod first of all, and then we rinse it, and that makes it nice and firm. So nice piece of cod in there. That's going to go in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. So let's get that in. We've coloured it off on the top, so you don't have to mess about in the pan as well. Then we've got a nice bit of gem lettuce, which we've charred on the top. Lovely smoky flavour. That's just going to be like 6-7 minutes in the oven, no longer. Then the rest of the garnish is potato cracker, which just needs 1 to 2 minutes in the oven, just to re-crispen it up again. And then dressings, little shrimp dressing here, so brown shrimp, lemon, rapeseed oil going through. And then this sauce, white mayonnaise looking sauce, this is pill. So this is made with the cod. It's almost like a mayonnaise, blitzed very, very high power to make this beautiful emulsified mayonnaise, which is flavoured with garlic and lemon. So we'll be back about 10 minutes or so. We'll plate the cod up with the gem and the pill sauce. So got my plate there, ready for the cod. Just give it a little bit of a wipe. You don't want it too hot, because of course it will make the mayonnaise cook and split eventually if it's too hot. So just warmed up on the plate. Let's bring out our cod, lovely fillet of cod there, and that's our lettuce. So what we want to do, let's first of all give your pill a stir, and then take a nice spoon of that. Beautiful texture on there, lovely and rich. I'm just going to get a little bit of a palette knife, chefy swipe on there. So there we go. And then what you just do, take a spatula for your cod, just in there like so, give it a little drain. And let's get our cod just sitting on there. Then let's get our gem. I'm just going to sit that just to the side, and then let's finish with a shrimp. So some of those lovely little brown shrimps over the top of the cod and the lettuce, and of course some of the dressing as well. And then let's get the rest around like so. There we go. A little bit of that dressing all the way around. A few more shrimps, make sure you get all of them cracking on there. And then let's get our potato cracker. That's just been in the oven just to crisp up. I'm just going to get all of that going on there like so. A little bit more in there. And there we go. So that is my beautiful fillet of cod, sauce pill, potato cracker, and the shrimp dressing. Onto our duck main course now. So you've got a lovely breast of duck there, which we've coloured off for you on the top. We've rendered the fat down nicely, so the fat's beautiful and crisp by the time it's baked. Going in the oven 8 to 10 minutes. Let's get our duck breast in. There we go. And then the garnishes. A little bit of Cavolo Nero, of course, because it's autumn now, first day today. So this is going to go into the oven for about 4 minutes just to heat up. It's got a little bit of butter on there, 4 minutes in the oven. And then the main event, look at that, pearl barley risotto, cooked with a mushroom liquor in there. It's got parmesan on the top, it's got a little bit of butter. And then I've sent you in for cooking liquor. So this is the mushroom cooking liquor. Get all of that into your pearl barley. Let's get that on the heat. Basically you want to bring that up to the simmer. And then once that comes up to the simmer, 4 minutes of stirring that. So that's when you can get your Cavolo Nero in as well. So 4 minutes, and then the garnish, a little bit of elderberry dressing, foraged elderberries to go on the top. So I'm just going to wait for this to come up to the heat. I'm going to keep stirring that, and then we'll be all back to plate up the duck. Okay, we're ready to serve our duck now. So I've just got my pearl barley risotto, just finishing off here. And you see I've taken my duck out of the oven. It's been resting there about 2 minutes. Got a lovely little crispy skin just on the top. And there's my Cavolo Nero just come out of the oven. So you'll know when your pearl barley is done, because look at that. You see it's lovely risotto consistency, lovely and reduced. But you don't want it stodgy, so you don't want to kind of completely reduce it, otherwise it will be too powerful a flavour for the duck. So let's get a nice portion of that pearl barley on there. Tamper it out slightly with a spoon. There we go, a few more mushrooms just on the top. There you go. Then we've got a Cavolo to go on. I'm just gonna curl little bits, a little bit in the middle, little duck will sit on, and then just a few bits around the outside. Of course you can serve more on a side plate if you wish. Just get the last little bit on there for me, like so. Little quick wipe of the plate. Then duck, I'm just going to take that end off. That's my little tester. Oh, delicious. And then slice. Nice sharp knife. Remember, blunt knife gets you nowhere. Final slice just on there. If you like, add a tiny bit of salt, as I do, just a little bit. And then just get it on the board, space it out so you can see all the slices, like so. Get your knife underneath, little drain on the top. There we go. All that's left to do to finish is dress some of our foraged elderberries, which the team and I got just last week. We pickled them, we made a lovely little dressing, and then you want to get lots of those elderberries all around, and then some of that dressing, give it a good stir, then go a little bit wide of the pearl barley, and you can see what happens. You get a lovely red split out of the elderberry juice, and there we go, a lovely autumnal roasted duck breast for the main course. Our vegetarian main course is this lovely arancini, or arancini, so you've got 3 of them in there. Lovely little bit of panko breadcrumbs around the outside. These are going to go in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes, so they've got the squash and sage inside. Let's get them going in now. And have a lovely crispy breadcrumb around the outside. Now my garnish, I've got a little parcel of rainbow chard just in here, 6 to 8 minutes, heating up in the parcel. Be careful when you undo it for any steam coming out of there. And then I've got some pickled shimishi mushrooms, a little bit of crispy sage, little sage tempuras just like that, just to go on the top. And then we've got a squash puree as well. Squash puree just going to put on the edge of the stove, and that's going to get heated up, all ready to plate up the arancini. So there's my squash puree, all heated up. Got my mushrooms, I've got my sage. So everything all ready for our vegetarian main course. Let's get our charred parcel out. Remember as well, with the purees and the sauces, if you want it a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, just have a little jug of water just on the side. With that puree there, I just add a touch of water just because, of course, when you heat it up, it can dry out slightly. So if it makes it easier for you plating it, then go right ahead. So what I'm going to do, get a real nice amount of puree in the centre of your dish, and just with the back of a spoon or a ladle, you can just turn the dish around. You see I'm just spreading that out like so. And this is just going to be a nice base, so I can sit my arancini on the top. Then what we do next, let's get our little parcel of chard. Just going to tear that open. Watch the steam when you open it up. And you got lovely rainbow chard there. Get some of the leaves in the centre, and then of course you've got the nice little stalks of the rainbow chard, that multicolours all around the outside. So spend a bit of time like so, and there we go. Then let's get all that stuff out of the way. Arancini's next. A little bit of seasoning just on the top, tiny bit, and then we'll plate those arancinis in the centre, like so. Next up, pickled mushrooms. This is of course just to cut through all that rich risotto. Got that really rich puree on there. So I'm just going to get all those mushrooms around. A little bit of time making sure you get some on the top for the eye. There we go. Last few little ones of them. And all that's left, little sage tempura. Just going to balance a few of those on the top. Look at that, you've got the makings of a really special full flavour vegetarian dish. Tiny bit of rapeseed. There we go. A little bit of a clean, and that's my vegetarian main course dish, arancini, on this week's menu. On to desserts now. So we've got our pressing and nectarines back on the menu. We've done this once before, it was so popular, people absolutely loved it, so here it is again. So in there you can see we've got all of our lovely slices of yellow nectarine. This is all layered up with a really nice lemon verbena syrup. So I've had this just out of the fridge for about 15 minutes. You see, make sure, really important, take its little collar just off of the top, just ease that up like so. It's just before it goes onto the plate, and then up it comes. Use a little fish slice, and there we go, that's all sitting on the plate. Reason for taking this out a little bit ahead of the time is just so you don't want to serve it ice cold, because then the flavours will be dumbed quite a lot. Let's take our raspberry gel. Let's cut off a little bit of the end of a piping bag. Get some of our fresh raspberries on the plate like so. All nicely placed. Then raspberry gel. You just want some nice little piles of that. There we go, and all that's left then, white chocolate aero. Make sure you keep this in the freezer until last second, just because it will melt pretty quickly. So I'm just going to cut that down slightly, and then put some nice big chunks of aero all around the plate. There we go, that one's for me. I'm going to go and eat this now. So that's my pressing and nectarines, white chocolate and raspberries. Our second dessert today, a little bit unusual. We've got a chocolate and beetroot cake just here. Absolutely yummy, really, really nice and moist with that beetroot going through there. Very similar to a carrot cake. Then we've got beetroot gel, just in this piping bag. Chocolate mousse, so a bit of chocolate mousse. Chocolate soil, so this is like a brownie base which we've crumbed up. And then some lovely little little candied beetroots there. So you've got the little Shigoa beetroots, and you've got a little golden as well. So what we sent you with, a little plant pot of course to present this one in. What I suggest you do, just put that plant pot on your board, and then I'm gonna just cut my cake up. I'm just gonna do it into 4 nice pieces like so. Then I'm going to take my knife and just cut the end off the chocolate mousse, as well as a little bit of a thinner end off of the beetroot gel, just because it gives you a little bit more control when you're plating it up. So what I want to do first, I'm going to put one of my cubes of little beetroot chocolate cake in there. Then I'm going to go pipe with a chocolate mousse. And let's get a little bit of beetroot gel in there. So you can see there, you got a lovely little layer already starting to happen. And then what we'll do, I'm just going to get one little layer of chocolate soil in there like so. Then we're going to repeat the process. So let's get another cube of the beetroot in there, chocolate mousse. Going to put another little bits of that lovely moist chocolate cake just on the side, and then let's start finishing this off. So chocolate mousse all over the top. You see, I'm just wanting to get this nice and level, and then I'm going to go with a bit more beetroot. This is just a sweetened beetroot gel. And you can see I'm piping it in lots of different areas, and that's so when you dive in with your spoon, you're going to get different tastes. Then soil just on the top, and then just see how I give it a little shake, just like so. Little tap, just make sure it's all nice and even. Okay, let's start a little tidy down, and then let's start finishing this one off. So we'll get some of our little beetroots now. This is almost just like a little indication of what's below when you're gonna dive in. So a few more. Well worth the time taken with this one. There we go. So that's all ready to go there. Onto my serving plate. And look at that. Hides all those lovely layers inside, but that's the take on carrot cake. But this is beetroot and chocolate, all layered up, chocolate mousse, beetroot gel, candied beetroots on the top. Onto our cheese course to finish off this week's UB Chef menu there. So make sure you've got your cheese notes just on the side. And then we've got our board. I've got a little fork as usual to put my little crackers in. So I'm just going to get a few rested in there now. So these are fennel seed crackers. They've got beautiful flavour, and they really do pop with that little house chutney, which is a plum chutney on this week's menu. So get your cheeses. We've just sent it to you, a little bit of grease proof. I've had these out warming up for about 15 minutes now. Again, really, really important. And then let's get them all in order. For cheese, according to the cheese notes, a little bit of a palette knife just to help me there. Isle of Wight soft. That's going on first. And we've got a nice bit of Comté in there. This is really, really rich. A little slice of Taleggio on the top. Then we've got our wash rinded Longret on there. Gorgonzola is our blue, and of course we've got a little bit of quince just to go into there. So a little tidy up. Let's get our chutney. It's just nice, the chutney and the quince to serve alongside. So a nice big pot of chutney, and there you go. You can serve that cheese course with your chutney and your toasted notes, and you can have a check on whether you agree with our descriptions. Hey there everyone, hope you've enjoyed this week's cook along menu. Here I am with all the dishes that we've prepared on the menu, and of course we're about to get tasting these, lucky us. And then we do this every single week, of course. We taste our dishes, really, really important. These are chef made, chef delivered to you. So, hope Hope you enjoy your week, enjoy the menu, and we'll see you soon.